In this demonstration, we'll take a look at the key configurations needed to grant access to AI Agent Studio to administrators and end users across functional pillars. We'll start by looking at a key profile option to enable. Then we'll create a custom role containing available job roles, duty roles, functional security policies, permission groups, and privileges that will represent access to various aspects of AI Agent Studio. We'll synchronize these to the credential stores using the standard scheduled processes. Then we'll create a custom user to see the effects of these security role grants. Finally, we'll add the pillar-specific considerations, and we'll actually create an agent team, and we'll see it run. Let's start with a key profile option setting. In order to get there, I'm going to log in as Curtis Fetty, which is one of our demonstration users. The profile option that we'll see here is needed to enable the security console to manage and assign the new permission groups for use with security roles. We'll navigate over to Setup and Maintenance to do that. We'll just head over to the search for the task, Manage Administrator Profile Values, go into the task, and we'll look for the profile option using the profile option code here. And that's the Enable Security Console External Application Integration Profile option, which we have enabled at the site level at this point. As a quick refresher, remember that permission groups are predefined bundles of privileges that will enable mostly user interface elements for a particular feature set. In this case, it's essential to enable the navigation to the AI Agent Studio functionality for users. Next, let's use the Security Console now to create a all-access custom role to show what new security roles are available to assign access to AI Agent Studio. Now, rather than selecting every security role available as an exploration of the AI Agent Studio security objects across the entire application, I've prepared pillar-specific custom roles ahead of time. I've also prepared a few combinations of custom per-pillar roles and users to see how all this fits together. Since this is not a security administration course, we'll just focus on what's available for AI Agent Studio, not the mechanics of building security roles. In light of that, please see the common security documentation, like the Securing ERP document, for full security access management details. Let's head over to the Security Console now to get started. We'll head back up to the menu. We're still as Curtis Fetty. And we'll head over to Tools, Security Console. Let's search for the roles that I've built ahead of time. I've named them starting with 99. And you'll see that I've built one that is the Explorer role. That's the one that allows someone to be able to debug and actually run the agent team once it's completed and made available to a particular user. In my case, that job role is narrowly focused to grant just that privilege. I've created 3 more over here representing the collection of AI Agent Studio roles that will allow someone to see only HCM-related agent templates. I have another one over here for procurement-related templates, another one here for supply chain management templates as 3 examples. There are certainly other families like ERP and CX that are out there that can be configured as well. I've also created a role that will contain a hierarchy containing 3 of these, which are the HCM, procurement, and SCM roles, and also the Runtime Explorer role, and that is to illustrate the super user all-pillar access ability. Let's take a look at some of these first before we assign them to their specific users. Let's start with HCM. So here's the role. Again, I've created that ahead of time. And you do that by clicking on Create Role on the upper right here. Since I've created that ahead of time, let's go in and edit the role. And if you were doing this for the first time, you would go directly over to the role hierarchy. Now, once again, roles are very complex structures. In your actual environment, you may be including a lot more security elements into this role than what we're seeing here. This demonstration is purely showing AI Agent Studio related roles only. In this case, the Manage HCM Intelligent Agent is one of the required roles to gain access to HCM-related AI Agent Studio content. Here is the roles and permission groups that's enabled by that new profile option. And over here, we can include permission groups by referencing the duty roles that contain those permissions. In this case, the essential one that HCM needs is the Gen AI Agent HCM Administrator duty, and this will allow someone who has been granted this role to see only HCM-related AI Agent Studio templates in order to customize or create new custom agent teams. Similarly, if we cancel, go back up to search, and for example, pull up the procurement role, and we'll go in and see what I've added to this role. Over in the role hierarchy, we'll see 2 intelligent agent management duties that are specific to procurement, and we'll see a administrator duty that is required to gain access to procurement-related AI Agent Studio elements. One more over in SCM for our examples. And over in SCM, we have the SCM Intelligent Agent Management duty. There's been optional that you can add some HCM-related ones as well. And over in roles and permission groups, you'll see the Gen AI Agent SCM Administrator duty. At this point, I'd also like to point out that there are many combinations to do this. For these 3 roles that I've created, I've went directly with the specific roles and privileges. These roles and privileges could certainly be bundled into larger roles in your environment. For example, the supply chain management administrator role may contain all of this already, in which case you would just assign that one role. So this is a very specific example once more. Let's come back to this screen over here. It's 2 more to look at. And so I've created ahead of time the Explorer role. And this is the one that will allow the actual running of the agent teams that are developed. And this is actually a function security policy. And so the Access Intelligent Agent Chat function security policy role is added. And this actually then brings in role and permission group element, the Gen AI Agent Runtime Duty, that represents the actual privilege to be able to actually interact with an agent team through the chat interface. And so in this case, as a preview, in order to build this into a working role, at least one of these and the Explorer role would have to be added. For our example here, I'm just going to go ahead and build a super user role to give us access to everything, and also the ability to run agent teams across these 3 different pillars. Let's take a look at that role. And so over here in the role hierarchy, it would just be a matter of including those 3. And just for the purpose of showing a bit of how system administration happens, we can come in here and maybe add that Explorer role. And in the typical case, that's how you would add roles to a parent role in this case. If we do it that way, we'll have to click Next, 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 Save and Close. And at this point, what we have are just the roles. Let's continue to the users that we're going to be attaching the roles to. So over in the users, I've created, again, several users ahead of time. I've named the last name of each one of these users with AIAS for AI Agent Studio. And I've created one ahead of time each for HCM, procurement, and SCM. And I've created a super user one here as well. Once again, let's start with HCM over here. And with HCM, I've simply added the role that we saw earlier. This will restrict this user to be able to only see HCM-related AI Agent Studio content. Just for effect, I've added another role over here so that the menus will appear a bit more realistic when we log into this user in a few moments to see the effects of this. In a similar way, over in procurement, I've added only the procurement AI Agent Studio related role. Over in SCM, the SCM AI Agent Studio role and a large demonstration role that we typically have in our demonstration instances. And finally, a super user role. And so the super user role is going to have a few more things. And this is just to illustrate that, once again, when you bundle these AI Agent Studio roles into your existing custom roles, there may be a lot of other things that are going on. But in this case, I've taken that super user role and I've added the runtime role to ensure that when we log in as this Super 99 role, we're actually able to not only see the agent templates that are available, but we're also able to instantiate them and finally be able to run them because of this Explorer role. All right, when we say done over here, again, where we're at is we have several users that have been associated with pillar-specific roles, thereby limiting their access to AI Agent Studio content. And we have a super user role here as well. Let's talk about some standard system administration tasks before showcasing these users now. Let's head over to the scheduled processes page for that. And so once the profile option has been set and the job roles and users have been all set up, there are two processes that need to be run to synchronize these setups to the application security tables. First, we have the import resource application security data schedule process. You see that over here. It doesn't have any parameters. We just need to submit that. And the second one is the regular or standard import user role application security data schedule process. And that one also does not have any parameters. For these demo, these have been run already. Let's test out these users now to see the effects of those roles that we've added. Let's start with the HCM 99 user. To do that, I'm going to switch to a different browser. And I'll launch a separate window and we'll log in as HCM 99 AIAS user. And if we navigate over to tools, those roles will give access to this particular user to the AI Agent Studio work area. And within the work area, you'll see that the agent templates are limited to HCM templates only. If we then navigate to agent teams, which are the instantiated copies of those template or custom built agent teams, we'll see that once again, they're also limited to HCM only. We'll see that over in the agents as well. And we'll see that over in the tools as well. So once again, this HCM user has been limited to AI Agent Studio content only from HCM because of the way that the HCM AI agent role that we saw earlier was configured to only contain the HCM related duties and not the other duties that are specific to the other pillars. Let's look at one more example over in procurement. Let me log out of this HCM user. And I'll head over to my procurement user. And the procurement user in this case will have a different looking menu. But this user will also have AI Agent Studio because of the role that we assigned it. And we will see procurement related agent templates only. Let's take it one more step further with this procurement access. Let's pick a random existing agent team. Let's go into that team. And let's actually try to interact with this in debug mode. We'll take one of its starter questions and we'll ask this agent team a question. And so keep in mind that each one of these individual pillar roles that I'm configuring here don't have the Explorer role. And so if you don't have the Explorer role, you can't actually run or interact with the agent teams. You're going to get this generic, the assistant is unavailable error message. For this demonstration, I've added the Explorer role only to the super user demo user. So let's head over there now. So let's log out of our procurement user. And finally, let's head over to the super 99 user. And this user should have full access. So let's head over to Tools, AI Agent Studio. And you'll see that if we look at the templates available, we'll see some from HCM, some from SCM. And if we scroll down below, we'll see the procurement ones as well. And that's a function of being assigned, again, multiple roles containing duty roles that are specific to pillars, all rolled up in the role hierarchy, giving this user access to most everything. Same thing over in agent teams. We will see agent teams from all the families. Let's actually make use now of the ability that we've granted the super user to actually instantiate an agent team and run it. Let's head over to the agent studio here. Let's pick this very first HCM Benefits Policy Advisor template. So we'll create a copy of that. We'll use 99 as the agent team suffix. And this agent template comes with one tool. And this is a document tool, if we look at the details. But it doesn't have any documents embedded. So let me replace this with one that has documents embedded. So I'm going to remove this tool. We'll click on the tool. And we will pull up other existing tools over here. And I'll add this fourth one over here. That is the Lookup Benefits BAP HRZ, which is attached to one of our other working demos. All the documents are published here. So we'll add this one over here and we'll save and close. Let's go back to that agent. So I'll search for my 99. Now over here, make sure that you're looking at the draft view. My agent has not been published yet. So I'm going to search in the draft list. There it is. And at this point, we need to point out that there's one more requirement before this instant of the agent team will run. We do have one more security role assignment that we need over here. So this security assignment is more domain related, more related to the functional data security policies that state who has the ability to gain access to the data that's behind here. In this case, the benefits related data. And so for my Super 99 user over here, we haven't configured that functional domain. So if I try to add the security over here, I don't actually have any roles to give out to assign to this particular agent team. I'm going to have Curtis Fetty help me on here rather than trying to configure all of the functional privileges for my Super 99 user over here. So let's head back over to Curtis Fetty. And over as Curtis Fetty, I'm going to go back to the menu, back to AI Agent Studio, over to Agent Teams, over to Draft Agent Teams, pull up the new agent team that I just created. And with Curtis Fetty's additional privileges, I should be able to come over here and assign, in this case, an employee role. and apply that and update that. And that will complete the definition of this agent team. Lastly, we did add the Explorer role over for Super 99 to be able to run this. So let's head back over there, and we're going to cancel this session over here just to re-enter it. And we'll check for the new security role that Curtis Fetty helped us enter. And in this case, you'll see in the documentation that it asks you to make sure that caching and all that is taken into consideration when you're building out these elements. So in this case, I have both sessions running in parallel. Looks like it hasn't updated that change yet. So let's cancel out of this, and perhaps to be safe, let me sign out completely as my Super 99 user, come back in, see the effects of what Curtis Fetty has done, and then we'll run the agent team. So we head back to the AI Agent Studio, over to Agent Teams, and let's actually make this full screen now so we don't see Curtis Fetty in the background there. And from here, looking at the Agent Teams, once again, let's look for my 99 under draft still. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. And we'll see the person-employee abstract role that Curtis has helped us add to our benefits policy advisor agent team. So with that, let's go ahead. I'm now as Super 99 user. Let's go ahead and publish this. And we'll save and close one more time. And perhaps we'll head out to the Agent Studio and back to Agent Teams to refresh the status of that. We'll head over to Published, and we'll now see the agent team over in the Published tab. Let's go in and test this. So we'll go into the latest draft version of this, and with our Super 99 user having both all of the roles given us access to the AI Agent Studio content as well as the Explorer role, we should be able to interact with this particular agent team. So let's go in there and let's interact with the agent. And we'll see it calling the Benefits Policy Advisor agent as part of its native debugging messages. And then it will return the results of the query that it has into those sources of information inside the Lookup Benefits Policies document tool. And this is just one series of examples of how AI Agent Studio security configurations and roles can be set up to facilitate the access, administration, and development before doing a quick debug run test. The next step is deploying this agent to a location in the user's workflow, which will be discussed separately.